In this video, I'm taking a look at my top 5 Droid Star Wars Funko Pops. Let's jump right into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Christopher, and just over a month ago I polled everyone on YouTube just to see which top 5 Funko Pop video they wanted to see next, and I think about 50% of you wanted to see my top 5 Darth Vader Funko Pop, so I did that video. 27% wanted to see my top 5 creatures and aliens, so I just did that video last week. And then last but not least, 22% of you wanted to see my top 5 Droid Funko Pops, so that's what we're looking at today. So at number 5, I got number 566, B2EMO from the Andor series, and this one's very, very detailed. I like all the detail along the sides and around the body there, with all the kind of mechanical pieces showing, and then it's got that yellow wheel at the back, and they did a nice job on some of the sculpt work too, so they put some scratches and dents on his head there, as well as on the 3 tiers of his body as well, so some really nice little details, and he's just such a unique looking droid. It's something different than the R2 units and your protocol droids as well, so that's why I picked this guy. Coming in at number 4, I went with a Funko Pop that just got released this year with the 40th anniversary of the Return of the Jedi wave of Funko Pops. It's number 609, C-3PO in the chair, and this one I had to put on the list somewhere. The pose is great. This is something new that they're doing with as far as Star Wars Funko Pops anyways, putting characters in chairs. I really like the choice of the base that they did, because whenever they do something other than the black base, it's always nice to get. So they did the log base from like the Andor Ewok village. 3PO is in the chair, and then there's lots of little details like in the sculpt work, but then like you got the wires showing in his stomach there, the red and blue wires, so really detailed, nicely sculpted. Such a great pose too, so I'm really liking the Funko Pops in the chair, so I hope Funko does more of these. Coming in at number 3, I have a droid that comes from the Force Unleashed video game. He's part of the Gaming Greats line of Funko Pops that's exclusive to GameStop. It's number 551, Proxy. This one's a great pop. It's a glow-in-the-dark pop, so all the purple that you see on his body, the purple rings and the wires and stuff, and his eyes, they all glow in the dark, so it looks great when it's glows in the dark. But this droid has a lot of details, again, like the wires, the mechanical bits. The pose is great too, so I like the pose, even like when it's not glowing in the dark, right? You got the purple wires, which is a nice accent color for this droid. I haven't played the game, so I don't know how accurate this one is, but he is very, very cool looking droid. So my number 2 pick might be a little bit of a shocker for Tony at Star Wars Sith and Ricky at Pop the Bounty Collector. It's number 133, Chopper from the Rebels Star Wars Funko Pop line, and I had to include this guy because he's such a great looking pop. Not your typical R2 unit looking pop, like he's got the arms sticking out just like he did in the show. The color scheme is great, like the kind of dulled down orange with the yellow and the matte green there. Such a great looking pop. And then the bobble on this one's a little bit different because it's one of the first droid bobbleheads that they did, or as far as like R2 units go. He does bobble at the legs there rather than just the head bobbling, which they changed to later on. So I kind of like this style of the bobblehead this way. I like how they did that one where he can kind of like tilt back and forth like that. I prefer that style than just the head bobbling on these R2 units, but this guy is a great one. If you don't have it, definitely pick it up. And for my number 1 pick, I went with a droid that came from The Mandalorian Season 2. This one was one of my favorite pops from 2 years ago when it came out. It made my top 10 Star Wars Funko Pops, and I think it came in number 1 if I'm not mistaken. If I remember correctly, it was my favorite Star Wars Funko Pop from that year. It is none other than the Dark Trooper number 466. And I know, don't let the name deceive you, Dark Trooper, because he is still technically a droid. He's a robot, so he's a droid. So that's why he's on my number one, because of the pose, the detail. He just looks very, very menacing. Like, look at this guy, like the stance with that big blaster, walking towards you. He looks very, like I said, menacing, very, very mean looking. You can see a lot of nice details, a lot of the mechanical details on him, mechanical bits. All the metal joints on him are all painted chrome, where everything else is this nice gloss black. Still one of my favorite pops to date, so that's why this guy made it in as my number one pick for my top 5 droids. But what do you think of my top 5 droids, and which droids from your collection will make your top 5 list? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and then click to watch one of my other reviews. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you.